Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Muted Vocal. Today I will be talking about a little trip I have just returned from, a trip to Freiburg in southwest Germany. Originally, I had attempted to record some live dialogue for you, but suffering from a lack of windshield, the sound didn't come out too well. So, why did I choose Freiburg for my latest trip? Well, I am currently working on a kind of semi-autobiographical novella, which required some travel. And the reason I chose Germany, and specifically Freiburg, was that my parents lived in Germany for quite a while before I was born, and there was a period of time in which they were considering relocating permanently, and I was always fascinated by this, the idea that I might have grown up German, or at least part German. And Freiburg is a very beautiful city, as you can see. It's quite large, at least by German standards, and I needed a place in which I could kind of disappear for a few days, you know, surrounded by colourful buildings, labyrinthine passageways, that sort of thing. On the right there you can see Freiburg Monster, construction of which began in the year 1200. Very old and very fascinating, and a wonderful structure to explore and photograph. The benches in the video below belong to a restaurant I discovered up in the hills, and I was pretty much just talking about the surroundings and what a glorious view it was from up there, you know, the entirety of the city and the distant snow-capped mountains. Incredible. Great time of year to visit. My knowledge of the German language is very limited. I can get by just about, as long as the Germans aren't asking me too many questions in German. I do apologize to the Germans who might be listening right now. Ich kann nicht Deutsch sprechen. And so, when one is attempting to write something that's considered to be autobiographical, I think a certain amount of headspace is necessary in which to reflect upon one's life and the life one might have lived if circumstances were different. And of course, if my parents had chosen another path, then who knows where I would be right now. Possibly not sat in front of this microphone. But as I said, Freiburg was a wonderful place to disappear, although from the video footage you are viewing at the moment, I'm quite visible atop the hillside there. In terms of its geographical location, as I said, Freiburg is in southwest Germany. The French border lay maybe 20 minutes to the west, and the Swiss border lay around 30 minutes to the south. And during my week-long stay, I was sure to visit both of those countries. My first visit to France, actually, I went to the small town of Colmar, just across the border. And Switzerland is my second visit, and I went down to Basel, which is an interesting city. Certainly not a traveller's number one choice, but a fascinating place nonetheless. I recorded a video upon the train from Freiburg to Basel, which I'm hoping to upload because the sound was much better than the sound up here on the hillside. In terms of accommodation, I chose a hotel which was just down the street that you are observing on screen at the moment, called Hotel Schwarzwälder Hof, which was a very traditional German hotel. Basic in terms of its facilities, but it satisfied my basic needs. Freiburg Monster, again there, to the right, and some of the interesting, colourful architecture on the square. All these vans dotted about were belonging to marketeers and stall keepers setting up for the day. And of course, I absolutely adore these secret ginnels between streets and flowing water everywhere. Incredible. I have several further adventures lined up for 2015, and I think this idea of the travel diary is an interesting one. I have come up with a solution for lack of windshield, and hopefully we'll be able to make more videos on the fly. I quite enjoyed it. This was a particularly colourful and quiet area of Freiburg. And again, the locals didn't pay me much attention. I tend to fade into the background, for I'm not looking for attention. Of course. So was it a productive trip? Did I achieve what I wanted to achieve? Well, I certainly shot a lot of footage, I took a lot of photographs, and I did a fair bit of writing, so I would say yes. I would say that any trip overseas to any city is always going to be a productive one, for it fires the imagination. It sets it alight. Just look at this place. I highly recommend a visit, if you have the time and inclination. And I will see you again soon with a Basel train video. But until then, thanks for joining me, ladies and gentlemen, and goodbye.